This is Joe Castello's WFO Radio Ignition, covering everything that has wheels, an engine, and a driver.
The reason I race is to get the chicks. You know what I mean?
NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, sports cars, and NHRA drag racing.
Hey, guys, just want to let you know, WFO rocks.
WFO Radio is total motorsports.
It's just so cool.
Fasten your seatbelts, fire up the ignition, and drop the hammer.
Yeah, let's do it.
Now, here's your host, Joe Castello.
WFO, what's up, everybody? Ignition is back. I'm Joe Castello. I'm your podcast host. And we were off last week, as in me and Giovanni in Miami, who is also here. What's up, Giovanni?
Hello.
How dare you make us miss a show last week?
That's the kind of guy I am. When I don't feel like doing something, I just don't do it.
Right, exactly. Don't feel like it. No, listen, here's the thing. What happened last week? We were not around, but we're going to move past it very, very rapidly. It was after the NHRA, out wherever I was. I think it was St. Louis. Voice like a little thin, like, coming down the stretch here at the end of the year.
Well, you had barely walked in the door when the poker guys were walking out the door, and, it was already late.
Not feeling it, I believe, is exactly the way it would come out. Not feeling like, guys,
your frailty was coming out.
You guys didn't want to hear me in that situation. I don't think so. I did not have a lot of anything to offer that would have been entertainment. So, push it back, and here we are, the next Ignition show. Isn't it great? And what's special about this one is not only are we getting ready for Talladega, we've got that, all our NASCAR stuff, which was interesting. Kyle Larson picking up the win. I'm getting ready to go to NHRA in Charlotte. So that'll be very interesting. Going to be talking about that, throwing that out on the table a little bit. I got to enjoy my first NASCAR playoff race being home and watched it and enjoyed it. Thought it was good entertainment. Yeah. But right now, during this show, is something very unique in that the New York Yankees are playing the Minnesota Twins in an elimination game for the Twins, not the Yankees. And it is happening as we are scheduled to do the show. Now, am I going to blow off the show 2 weeks in a row? No, that is not going to happen. Especially not for the divisional level. And if we get to the World Series, I do reserve the right to change the schedule of the show. But you guys know that. You guys know all of this. For new people to the podcast, we are all New York Yankee fans, but with great respect for all other teams and people. It's just...
Not all of the teams. We don't respect the way everybody does business.
Not everybody, but for the fandom of certain teams, like who you like, man, whatever.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
We don't respect the way all teams do business. And by that, we mean that they don't do business properly. They're cheap, and they're not trying to win.
You got to try to win. That's all. You got to try to win. I think that's a good benchmark. Be trying to win is important. But nonetheless, I digress. So the Yankees won the first two games of this series, and now this is the third game, and they're in Minnesota. The game has just started. I believe that we can weave this into great entertainment for our WFO listeners. Certainly, some of them are New York Yankee fans. That is number one. Certainly the people that I deal with, there is a giant secret society of Yankee fans amongst the NHRA. Dom and Bobby Lagana, of course. There's no secret with them. Chris McGahey, Holly McGahey. There's a bunch of us that are Yankee fans. So this is a thing. But you know what else? There are a lot of Dodger fans. There are probably more Dodger fans.
Well, because there's a lot of people that live in Southern California.
In Southern California, right. There's quite a few Red Sox fans. In fact, if I was going to say any sport was the secondary subculture of NHRA drag racing, it would be Major League Baseball.
Interesting.
Yeah. The thing, I wonder if the demographics actually prove that out. The thing that makes it a deal is that traveling the country, you go to a baseball game. That's something that everybody does. They go hit a game in the park where they are. Oh, Oh, look at that. Solo shot. Solo shot, baby. Gleyber.
The 22-year-old.
Woo!
I always try to remind myself.
Woo!
The 22-year-old.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. You're not going to hold this team down. So what happened is the Yankees have played the Twins many, many times, and the Twins said that they were going to slay the dragon this time.
Yeah, right.
That's what they said. So anyway, we are going to be delving into the big win by Kyle Larson. We'll talk about some things that happened at the Roval. The Roval. And I'm going to be getting hyped up for NHRA and hopefully encouraging you to listen to the podcast. Alan Reinhart, Clay Milliken in a very entertaining interview, Justin Ashley, and Eddie Granaccia, who is Matt Hartford's crew chief. You see that?
No, I actually did not. What were you pointing at? The home run?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
No, I thought something more specific.
No.
Yes, I did see him hit one. And, woo!
I thought
Real
you were looking down. It was very close.
No, I saw it the first time. That's
it was
why.
almost Jeffrey Mayer 2.0.
No, Jeffrey Mayer was way further down.
Yeah, it really was.
Well, the fan did touch it, but that's a home run there anyway.
There's a gap between that fence and where those fans are. But anyway, long story short, it's playoff time now. And this is a chance for the Yankees, which I view, it's religious-like. Certainly like them and enjoy them. And we're going to be watching along. And hopefully go all the way through. Everybody's nervous about Houston, but there it is. So that's the subtext of the podcast for the next 3 weeks.
Could be longer than that.
Could be long, next month. For the entire month of October. Put it that way. To the end of October. But all right, let's get into Kyle Larson. A great victory at Dover. I guess let's talk about Chase Elliott real quick. Back at the Roval race, cool. He goes and does the burnout where he slid through the thing. What do we think about the Roval? Just real quick. More Roval, less Roval?
More road course races, but the Roval, it's fine. We need that. No, I'll keep it.
Okay. I like it too.
I'm keeping it.
I like it too. I like how they're making improvements on the Roval. I like that it's fast and furious and frenzied, and people are aggravated and crazy. Didn't look like there was a ton of people there. It looked like an okay crowd. But, yes, keep doing the Roval. The Roval is circus-like. I like it. It's a crazy thing. It's a show. Roval is a show. Bubba Wallace, Bowman the Showman. Bowman the Showman raced his way through. That was the big story of last week.
That's right.
And Chase Elliott. Just to throw it out on the table. We don't have to go too crazy. But Bowman the Showman, I wanted to make a note because he got together with him and Bubba Wallace, and I felt like no big deal, no harm, no foul. Whatever. Bubba throws water on him. He's all hot. Maybe Bubba was helping him in a secret way. He's receiving medical attention.
You see?
Right. No, it makes sense. Bubba's been in the same spot and you get a water pouring over your head. It's not all bad. But really, it was a fun and intense kind of race. More importantly, I don't have a driver to really be a fan of. This is where I come from. I can analyze it all day long, but I want to have someone that I'm interested in. I've always had someone to be a fan of. Early on, Petty, Earnhardt Jr., there's some guy, Giovanni, with Tony Stewart and whoever it is now.
Kind of don't have a driver. So I'm a driverless fan, too.
We're all...
I root for the sport to do well.
And you root for Joey Logano because of the kid.
Well, the kid roots for Joey Logano. I'm not against him, but...
Don't love him.
Not my favorite guy.
He's okay.
I root for Matty D.
Well, so exactly. So what's happening is
I root for stories.
Stories.
And the good story and the feel-good story. There, not just the feel-good, the good story and everything. I root for it to be an exciting race that we can... gives us something to talk about that isn't just some guy ran away with the race.
But also, and that's how I feel about drag racing as well, but also there are a lot of fans, probably millions of fans that are out there that feel like we do, with no real connection, because all their guys, Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, Tony Stewart, all retired in a quick succession. And so everybody's like, so I'm watching these races with a chance for these people to earn
Carl Edwards, Matt Kenseth.
Right. Exactly. Like everybody that we knew of our era is now gone for the most part, except Brad Kay, Kevin Harvick. You got a couple guys, but they weren't my guys from the beginning. Harvick was.
Right.
But now
of course.
Harvick was. When he replaced Earnhardt, Harvick was a Harvick guy. And I still like Kevin Harvick. But he's with a Ford over there. And so I'm not going to root for a Ford. The exact counter to everything I've ever done in my life. So I'm open. I'm open for and I think that Matty D has definitely earned our some fandom. Of course, he is going to a Ford, which screws it all up. But can't do that. Bowman the showman, man. Bowman, the '88 Bowman took over for Dale Jr. I think he's stepping up. He's doing a good job, mixing it up out there, roughing people up.
Hey, do whatever it takes to win to get in.
Exactly.
He almost won the race, actually. Now I'm having visions of recollections of the end of that race.
That
was
way up
very
in
exciting. And, yes, from a caution, he gained a bunch of spots to get in. And there was an issue with Newman and maybe Almirola were fighting for that last spot also. And they had some stuff going on.
And they had a little bit of a beef as well. Newman didn't make it. He was he blew the chicane. And...
yeah,
that was that,
and that was that. But at that point, he was still already he was already at 1 point on the outside anyway.
So,
but anyway, yeah,
moving
that was
forward,
good. Moving forward now.
Entertainment, pump it this week. Dover, much faster.
Kyle Larson
goes out there, wins the race, advances, and so what lies ahead? Talladega, and so everybody, is going to be. But the points are as follows: Kyle Larson, Martin Truex, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Bowman, and Byron are all to the good. Joey Logano is on the outside in a tie, but loses the tiebreaker with Lord Byron. Clint Bowyer, 4 positions back. Chase Elliott, 7 positions back. And Ryan Blaney, 12 positions back. So it's a total crapshoot.
Yeah, isn't that the way it always is?
Right.
It's still early. And next week is, the proverbial crapshoot, too.
Well, that's what I'm saying is if you get knocked out of the Talladega on the first lap, like so many did at this race in Dover. Anyway, my point is it's interesting. That's what I'm saying. It's you can hate on NASCAR and be like, oh, my gosh, NASCAR's dying. But really, though, it's good racing. It's a good product. They've got people that you just don't know everybody. You're not connected to them, is what I'm saying. But it's coming along. Kyle Larson wins the race. Martin Truex Jr. was second. Bowman, the showman, comes up third. Alex Bowman. And let's ask Kyle Larson a very obvious question. Is it good to win?
It's always good to win, but to end win this drought was good. But, it's not a shock either. I feel like we've been running really well this year, aside from the beginning of the year. And even in the beginning of the year, we were still had some good speed. I was just making a lot of mistakes. So we've been able to clean up what we've been doing on race days and executing and going about the races more patiently. So our car's been getting better the last couple months. So it was good to dominate a race like we did today.
And there you have it. So I guess it's good to win.
And dominate. Well, he did dominate that whole third stage.
Denny Hamlin dominated the first half of the race for the most part, and Kyle Larson dominated the second half. It was a very fast race. They broke a qualifying record, apparently, and they said the cars were going 8 miles per hour faster in the center of the corner. And so...
that's no joke.
Well, exactly. So it's, Kyle Larson led 154 laps. Denny Hamlin led 218 laps. Truex led 15. Here's the rest of the results. Kyle Larson, Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman. 4th, Kevin Harvick. 5th, Denny Hamlin. 6th, Kyle Busch, who was much worse than that at times of the race. 7th, Matty D. Matt DiBenedetto, man. This is it, this guy. Either that or Chris Bell is going to jump in that car next year and win everything, every race. But, yeah, man, Matt DiBenedetto, he's good guy. Jimmy Johnson, 8th. 9th, Kurt Busch. 10th, Clint Bowyer. Take a second to think this thought experiment. Would NASCAR, 1-1 was the rating. right? And they're as popular as they are, whatever it is. What if Clint Boyer won 6 times a year? Just the winner's interview, the attitude, the fun, the outgoing nature, the celebratory aspects. Uh-oh.
Boom.
Double. Get him. Get him, Judge. Nope. Double off the wall.
I saw that.
It's okay.
They got a big wall out there on right field.
Yeah, no big deal.
That's a home run in New York.
Yes. Saved the day. Thank goodness we're on the road. My point is that Clint Boyer and his excitement level, I just think his interviews and his excitement level are just much better for the sport. That's all. Brad Keselowski, 11th. Paul Menard, 12th. William Lord Byron, 13th, but actually was in contention for a top 5, but had a late race pit road speeding penalty. And so fell a lap down, rallied back to 13th. Daniel Suarez, 14th. Eric Jones, 15th. 16th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Eric Almirola, 17th. 18th, Austin Dillon. 19th, Ryan Preece. 20th, Bubba Wallace. Followed by Daniel Hemrick, Ryan Newman, Ty Dillon, Mike McDowell, Matt Tifft, Landon Castle, David Reagan, Corey LaJoy, B.J. McLeod, and Joe Nemechek. Joe has got a lock on like the 30th spot. He's killing it out there. Joe Nemechek. Once upon a time, I would have thought, but good for Joe. Get out there. Make some laps. Ross Chastain, J.J. Yaley, Garrett Smithley, our buddy. And then here's the story of the race. 34th, Joey Logano, axle problem.
Before the race
started.
Like on the warm-up lap, I guess.
So that is just bad luck, part failure, or, who knows. But whatever. First lap, Ryan Blaney, 35th. Chris Buescher, 36th. 37th, Reed Sorensen, and Chase Elliott. So Chase had an engine problem. Blaney had brake problems. And Joy
had an
axle problem, driveline problems. So you got 3 Chase contenders right there. 3 playoff contenders, all in the bottom 6.
Not just that, guys that won races, right?
Yeah.
Well, Boyer, I guess, didn't. But
so what does this all mean? It means that the Talladega race is going to be very exciting. I think epic and worth watching when you're not watching NHRA drag racing on Fox Sports 1. Definitely worth the DVR. I think the drag race should be enjoyed live to get in the ebb and the flow of the race, NHRA.TV, all of that. But what I'm going to do is I've got the DVR set, and I'm going to enjoy it Sunday night.
There you go.
Yeah, I got it planned out right from now. I was so entertained this week. It's like time to get into it. Just like baseball. It's the playoffs.
Playoffs?
You didn't have to watch every single regular season race, all of them. I would, normally. But
playoffs?
I'm working. Hey, there it is. Hey, while you're on that note, listen, Kyle Larson in his soundbite right there.
Yeah?
He says the word drought.
Yeah.
I think it's funny.
Right.
Drought.
Yeah. Do it again.
Oh, it's the finger here.
Drought.
Okay, so drought. You're going to want to get that one because I think that we could drop that in every once in a while when someone's slumping or something. You know what I mean? You drop in the drought. Drought. And Talladega is next, and it's going to be very interesting. NHRA, we are headed to Charlotte. Last week was the Roval. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Oh, get it. And a critical moment. But see, what we were talking about is we don't want to do play-by-play on the television for our podcast, so we're going to just keep on going. And if a heart attack moment happens, it happens. Here are the WFO Radio Fantasy League results following Dover, which I'm very interested to see who's all in and out. And the weekly winner, Smothered and Covered, 376 points, past champ. Smothered and Covered, number 1. Number 2, Bulls Wool, 352 tied with Sacramento Racing Fan. 4th is El Jefe. 349.
Oh.
Ray Indy, 5th, 348. Elephant Racers, 342. Craig and Newhall, 337. 7th. Dirt Girl, number 2, 336. 8th. Mr. Fantasy NASCAR and Royal Flush Racing tied for 9th and 10th. Smothered and covered most points. El Jefe, the biggest gainer, up 8 positions. Biggest loser, oh no. I can see Almirolas.
Oh,
down 7, Steve the Trucker, and low blinker.
The bottom is falling out.
Yes.
Steve, what's going on?
Oh, man, ever since the phone call. It was going so great. And now at the top, Bulls Wool.
He's been at the top a couple of weeks now. More than that.
We missed, he took it over after the Roval. Bulls Wool, man, from down under. 115 back, Mr. Fantasy NASCAR.
He's taking second place.
It's Bulls Wool and Mr. Fantasy NASCAR as everybody else is falling back. Remember all those people we were talking about? They all have a chance?
Yeah, I think it was the whole top 12 was within 200 points.
Royal Flush Racing,
now
third.
It's only the top 3 are within 200 points.
171, and that's it. Jambalaya J Racing, 205. Fourth back, or fourth. So everybody just totally screwed the pooch.
Patrick and Bobby tied for 5th. 231 back. Elephant
down.
Racers smothered. There's been some heavy people picking up 2-3 spots this week, as I see here. Bug Barn up 2.
Oh, what
Elephant
happened
Racers
to Stubo?
Smothered and covered up 3. Craig and Newhall up 4.
All right, well, where are you at? Let's do on the field.
The top 9 only. There's a bunch of 2 tied at 5 and 3 tied at 9.
Movement is what you're saying.
Yeah,
a lot of people climbing their way up. Rich and Saugus up 3. Team 12, and then down. I can see Almirolas. This is what everybody passed. I can see
down
Almirolas.
6 also. Those are the 2 that had treacherous weeks.
They fell hard. All right, now on the 5, 15th, Southern Racer X, just behind Stubo. They are drafting together. 20th, Car 24 fan, just behind Highline Real Fine and the Dirty Hippies. Also Hockey Kid. Way to go, Hockey Kid. Who do you cut out, Sacramento Racing fan? 21st, El Jefe. 22nd, Low Blinker Fluid. 25th, Los Chingones. The past champion, down 6.
The defending champion.
A meek title defense.
His run is over.
That's it.
Was he ever in the top 20 as defending the title?
I don't know.
No.
Are you suggesting it's a fluke? That it was a fluke?
I'm not suggesting anything.
He had 3 really strong years. It just is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's very tough to maintain. 30th, Tom Inc., just behind Lugnuts and WFO Joe. WFO Joe, yes. Clawing back 2 positions, guys.
Look at that.
Back up to 28th. I could pass low. How about that for my goal?
Oh, yeah, you're within 100 of low there? Is that what it looks like?
Let's see.
Oh, maybe even less, 90.
Less.
70.
I could do it.
Do it.
That's the new goal.
Low. Well, that's top 25.
I'm ahead of Spider Monkey. 30th, Tom Inc. 35th, JJ Husker fan. JJ's name gets said every week. He's always like in 35th,
like on the
30th. He's on the 5s with JJ.
Maybe it's a strategy.
Just ahead of, just behind Little Low and ahead of Easy E009 and Spider Monkey Racing. 40th, Team English. 45th, Marvin Rodak, A26 guy. Marvin.
Hey, Marvin.
45th. That's not bad.
That's not
Middle
good.
of the pack. Just Team Gray. 43rd.
I mean, he's behind an 8-year-old.
Team Gray. Where's Gio Racing?
Oh, you skipped me. Where am I? I was ahead of Gray last week. There you go. 32.
32nd.
Up 4 spots.
Oh, so you know what? You, me, and Gray, we're all close enough. It could go any direction. 49th, Mischief Bent Valve, who reached out and contacted me. He is not the guy that I thought he was.
There you go. How great is that?
Yeah. And he also says that it's bad grammar and that we should have pointed it out. It's either missed shift bent valve.
Yes.
Or misshift bend valve.
That is correct.
We got out of it.
Yeah, that was big.
We got out of it.
I'm glad you threw those really good pitches there at the end.
Oh.
That was good. That was a good performance.
Let me tell you. So bases loaded in the second, and they do not score.
With nobody out.
Now you got to come back, and you just got to put it on them right here and end the game. Put up a 6 spot.
Yep, that's it. Break their hearts. Rip their hearts out of their chest like Indiana Jones.
And yes, and take a bite out of it. It's very possible this team is like that. Aviator and Flea Tree and Race Guitar and Tennessee Moneyman. I texted with Tennessee Moneyman when I was out in St. Louis because that's his hometown.
Is it his hometown or is that just where he lives?
No, he grew up there.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. St. Louis area.
Should you be putting out his information out there
he doesn't live there anymore.
Oh, okay.
No. Here's his address. You want to know where the money man lives? Here's his address. No, he spent time in St. Louis. He was a known racer around there. Yeah, money man. I can say anything I want about the money man. So the next race is Dega. Put your Dega teams. It's going to be all about dodging bullets.
Dega FFTS.
Yes. What's that?
Fans for Tapered Spacers?
Tapered Spacers.
Isn't that what they run?
That's it. Tapered Spacers. Fans for Tapered Spacers. It's going to be very exciting. It's going to be very fun. And here's my analysis about restrictor plate racing, even though it's not that anymore. It's Tapered Spacer.
Tapered Spacers.
Here's what I know
told
about Tapered Spacer racing is that you must embrace it.
Technically no different than the restrictor plate, right? I mean, it's just a different name for the same.
Pretty much.
For the same.
They're accomplishing it.
Result in a different manner.
Yeah. They just design the engines for this all the time.
Right. So
it's basically all racing is restrictor plate racing now, which is something that I generally like. I like restrictor plate racing. So you have to embrace it. That's all. Whatever it is, if you don't like it, you're not going to do well. Oh, I don't like it, you're not going to do well. Oh, I can't get you. Well, you're not going to do well. That's because you suck at it. If you go into restrictor plate racing or tapered spacer racing, embracing it, like I'm going to the Dega, I love the Dega, I love the energy, I love the fact that there's going to be 100,000 people there, crazy, awesome NASCAR fans that get it, they're going to be loving it. You go into the Dega and you embrace it, you will do well. Or maybe not, maybe you'll get crashed out.
It's a crapshoot.
It's a crapshoot. Somebody's going to win the race. If you have a
positive mentality, I'm sure it'll be better than if you go in there hating it.
Somebody's going to win the race. What about strategy? Hang at the back.
Nah, I think the strategy is
you try to lead all day.
Try to be up front.
Try to be up front and work your car.
Which, I guess in this era it doesn't matter. We've seen the wrecks start everywhere.
Yeah, no, there's no cure for that.
There's no safe spot.
Nope.
So you might as well go all out.
There it is. Dega. Okay, so Formula One is also in action this week. Where is it? Suzuka, Japan. And it's kind of interesting in that what are we going to see out of the Ferrari-Mercedes matchup? Now, I know we did not have a show after that last race, after the Ferrari Nightmare race.
No, we did not.
The last time we spoke with everybody is after 3 wins in a row for Ferrari. Well, 4 did not happen. It was Lewis Hamilton again.
Yep. Leclerc got his 4th consecutive pole.
But it wasn't because of Mercedes' performance. Everything that could have gone wrong for Ferrari did go wrong, and they just found a way to muck it up.
That's it.
Because Vettel passed Leclerc on the opening lap and was pulling away, but his car failed. And then Leclerc could not get back.
That's not exactly where it failed, but yes.
No, it failed.
It failed after the first round. Well, after the pit stop.
Extended his lead considerably, actually.
Not the first round.
He was going on to win the race.
He more than likely would have won the race.
And then blowed up.
It looked like it was going to be an interesting battle between him and Leclerc for first and second.
But when...
It looked like another race where Ferrari, about, a third of the way, I don't remember how many laps now, but about lap 20...
double. Yes,
they had first,
go. That's going to Gapper.
And second. And, possibility
Don't go for 3.
Yeah,
he got it? No, he stayed. Is that Stanton?
That's Gio, man.
Oh, that's Gio. There he is.
Yeah, that's right. Gio comes through for the Yanks.
Giovanni.
Oh, man, that was a horrible whiff by that guy, by that center fielder.
He laid out for it, and he was very short, and the ball bounced over his head.
I guess.
That's great. That's great. Here comes the 6th-run inning. Anyway, long story short, Lewis Hamilton wins again. So any hopes of a championship or any of that stuff, some crazy fluke thing
there was
happening,
really no hope.
There was no hope, but now it's over.
It would have taken Mercedes failures almost all the way through to the end.
But to make it interesting, I propose that we choose to view the second half of the season a little bit differently. All of us. First of all, we're all rooting for Haas F1 to get as many points as possible, whatever can happen. That's number one. But number two, if Ferrari can get more wins than Mercedes from this point forward, that would be a win. That's something to think about and shoot for.
Even the entire second half, I would say.
Certainly now, yes. So there's something to watch for. That is interesting. Japanese Grand Prix. Kevin Magnussen, Haas F1 Report. Roman Grosjean, Q&A. Even though your race result in Sochi was suboptimal, you had a good weekend with pace throughout practice and qualifying.
I love the way they start the interview.
Can the momentum
the Q&A.
and key learnings from Sochi be applied at Suzuka?
What do you plan on doing this week to make it better?
Suboptimal. I'm going to use suboptimal this weekend. Yes, I think so. I mean, we will keep working hard, keep trying to improve the car, learn as much as we can. You can do the best job that we can. Suzuka is a great circuit, and we've always been quite competitive there. I'm hoping it'll be the same again this year. So that's a whole lot of nothing there, Roman. How helpful was the team's speed in Sochi for company morale, where the effort that's been put forth throughout the summer finally paid some dividend? Yeah, by the way, they got a car into the final queue. Go Haas. It was great that we were competitive all weekend.
I think K-Mag came home with a point.
Well, we're going to get to the results. The car felt good from free practice 1, which usually gives you a clear representation. Obviously, it was then painful to watch the race from hospitality. Yeah, he had a problem. But it was really good to see that Kevin was managing to keep some fast cars behind with good pace. It was good. And there it is. So Lewis wins the race. Bottas second. Leclerc third. Verstappen fourth. Alex Albon fifth. Sixth, Carlos Sainz. Seventh, Sergio Perez. Eighth, Lando Norris. And ninth, the Haas Ferrari of K-Mag, just ahead of Nico Hülkenberg. And so there you go, just ahead of Nico Hülkenberg, the guy we were like sweating. We want this dude instead of Roman Grosjean. And there you have it. Seb Vettel, third from last. Done blowed up. First out, Haas F1. So this week, Suzuka, Japan. And I'm just super excited to watch Ferrari versus Mercedes. Who can get the most race wins? Which driver can get the most race wins from now? You know, Lewis, he's obviously doesn't care. It's a coronation.
Yeah, he's pretty much got the championship in the bag.
So for the playoff system.
So maybe Formula One should have a playoff system.
Well, this is exactly the season of the argument for that. Look, I'm coming up with little extra bonus games and stuff. I think it's several. No, 6.
4, 5, 6.
6 races left.
Including this one. And there's, I believe, 22, is it? 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 22. So that's almost 25% of the season. This is perfect right there.
The final quarter of the season, and the champ is already over. That's why we have playoff systems here in America, because people would check out. We're coming up with little games to keep our mind in it. Oh. Foul ball. Almost hit Judge's head. So there it is. Your F1 report. Headed to Japan, and it will be fun this weekend.
Oh, no, look, that's not a race, that thing that Hollywood there. That's some kind of festival. We misunderstood. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 5th race. So it would have had to have started last weekend.
Got it.
But, yeah. Either way. Maybe
Let's
5.
Start it last
5
weekend.
Is not terrible.
Start it last weekend. Lewis won.
And by the way, 5 is not terrible
Let's
either.
start it the weekend before. Let's start it 2 weeks before.
Or look,
Leclerc
you know
won,
what?
Vettel won, Lewis won.
Make a second half champ like after the summer break. That's the playoffs. That's the regular season. Then you come back from summer break. That's the playoffs.
Let's create a system where we are somehow still in
and by the way, it's an American company, and they want American interests, right?
Yes.
We should go pitch this idea over there at F1.
Well, let's figure it out. Let's dial it in a little bit.
I'm telling you right here. That's it. The playoff,
second half champion?
No, the second half is a playoff that determines the championship. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 races.
So who qualified for the playoff? So we're taking the points away from Lewis Hamilton, who certainly deserves it, because we're bored by him.
Yeah, so he gets a trophy as the regular season champ.
Right, the Conn Smythe Trophy.
Or, what have you.
Whatever that is. Yes, you did a great job. You got the most points in the regular season. That's excellent. Welcome to the playoffs. And you're in the playoffs, and so is Charles Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas. And who else made the playoffs?
Sebastian Max. And the top five. There you go. That's it.
The top five.
Right? Those are the top fives. They start over, and at this point. That's the way it works in most systems. Maybe there's a few point advantage as you go. The guy in first place has a.
I like the top five. It's Formula One. Why should it be any more than the top five? The top five advance.
And look, the guy in first place has a 10-point lead. Second place is 8, 6,
the world
4, 2.
The world will hate us if we do this to Formula One. We're going to come up with a playoff system. No, they just love the coronation of Lewis Hamilton. That's it. And a lot of regular people do, too. They do not like...
Playoffs?
Playoffs?
You kidding me?
They do not like...
Playoffs?
Playoffs.
You kidding me?
They hate playoffs. Whichever baseball team has the best record during the season, that's your World Series champion. There it is. So the Yankees got a runner on third and 2 outs in the third. And you got Brett Gardner at the plate. And Brett is the longest running New York Yankee. Does everybody know that? I'm wearing, just so everybody understands, the jersey that was sent to me by WFO listener Kathy Macias, who is also excellent at renovating homes, apparently.
I was going to say, a home improvement.
Yes.
From what I understand.
And the best part about Kathy is she does it all herself.
Online, too.
She does not hire people to do stuff. She does it all.
But yes, she posts pictures of her work as she's doing it online.
I know.
It's great.
You see what she did with that mudroom? Amazing.
Yeah, the bathroom and everything.
Get her out here lifting some heavy things and moving some stuff around.
You should move to South Florida. We'll make you a contractor.
Yes, exactly.
We have evidence of your experience.
No, and she did a good job. She even included the social media crowd with it. It was cool. I chimed in a little bit. I thought the paint was going to be too dark, and it actually ended up looking great. So good job, Kathy. But she sent me this wonderful Yankees jersey, Derek Jeter, all the patches, all the World Series, and this shirt, Yankee Fandom, from WFO. There it is. Base hit. The Gazelle. Way to go, Gardy. Sorry about clapping, everybody. I can't help it. I can't not clap. I'm fired up. Baseball, baby. Los Yankees. Do you understand what this means to us? Probably not. You hate the Yankees. Listen, reconsider. Start spreading the news.
Yeah. No, not yet, man. It's only a 2-0 lead.
No,
Let's slow down.
I know that. But
this
I'm
team
excited.
hit more home runs during the regular season than any club in the history of baseball.
Yeah, and we're small balling them. But, yeah.
Well, that's what happens when you play the infield in. Why is that guy in so far with 2 outs? Oh, I guess he thought maybe Gardy would bunt it or hit it as slow as he did, but he just got it past her.
And
here
Gio
scores, man.
And Encarnacion, the parrot, is coming up here.
Incarnation, he pops out
Incarnation pops out. All right, well, another run. Excellent. And now we can focus. I'm headed to Charlotte for race 3 of the NHRA playoffs. Playoffs? And I'll tell you what. I'm very much thrilled about
playoffs.
What playoffs? What I am
playoffs. Playoffs.
My next National Dragster column is based on that. I turned that into a column. It may not go over well. Well, I just suggest that when you say the NHRA countdown, nobody that is outside of the NHRA has any idea what the heck you're talking about. And that I discovered through first-hand communication that when you say playoffs, people understand what you're talking about. Because I do these Mellow Yellow walking tours, and I'm meeting first-time fans. And it's like, hello, total stranger who doesn't know what's going on at this race. Here are some basics about drag racing that will hopefully be relatable to you, and you will come along again, right? And so it's like, hey, first-time fan, you happen to be showing up to your first race in the middle of the NHRA countdown.
Playoffs?
And they're like, oh, what's the countdown? What is that? The NHRA playoff system.
Playoffs?
Known as the countdown. And everybody goes, oh, playoff. Wow, we're in a playoff, right? Yeah, that's
Drought.
this guy. I told you we should have come
Drought.
this weekend. Drought. And so I made a column about that.
Drought.
And I agree. What's the relevance? You just love the new sound effect.
Well, it's fresh. It's from today.
Drought.
Doesn't everybody like the fresh stuff?
I do, but I don't know how applicable it is.
Whatever.
Exactly. Like it's supposed. The thing about a great drop is that it's used properly and at the right time. But I get it,
man. Like when you get a new toy, you just use the toy first, and then you bring it out at the right time.
All right, I get it. All right, I guess it's time. Do we have anything else on the table other than I wanted to go over some NHRA point standings just so that Giovanni is up on everything.
Okay.
Doug Coletta, Doug Coletta and Steve Torrance, 2 points apart at the top of the Top Fuel points. Mike Salinas and Brittany Force all within 50. And so those are your best teams. Like that's what's interesting about it. You got Leah, 62 back. Antron, 73 back. Richie Crampton, 73 back. Austin Prock, 79 back. Billy Torrance, 80 back. And Clay Milliken, who will be on NHRA Nitro, 107 back. What does that mean? Everybody is still in this deal. Everybody, even Clay. But you got to do something now. Clay's got to go win the race now. And then Clay will find himself in 6th or 5th. And then you'd have to win again. But you could do it. It's all possible. The Doug Coletta, could he win his first championship story? Still alive. The Steve Torrance, oh my gosh, we're in the countdown. We were the leader, and now we're reeling. That story's over. Steve's in the fight. It's a fight. That's the deal. It's basically tied with 4 races to go. To me, that's exciting. What's going to happen? Can Brittany get going again? Brittany's Force has got a great car. Is she going to go out and win the race? Is she going to stumble?
Cool.
She wins the race, she could take the lead and inject herself into the championship battle. Like all of these things, even Antron, they have been looking terrible. Just find it, guys. Just find it. And you can go out there and fight for championship. It's very interesting to me. Who will perform at the right time? Funny car, Robert Height, John Force. 1 and 2, separated by 13 points. John Force is in like the fight for his 17th championship. John Force, go make 2 out of 3 finals again, and you're probably champ, maybe. That's cool.
Cool B.
Jack Beckman won the first, out first round the second, good enough for 3rd in the points, still in the mix. What will they do? Will they rally back from the first round out? Tough loss to J.R. Todd. Will they stumble again? You stumble again, it's going to be a problem. Ron Capps, 4th, 44 out. Has yet to have like a great run deep into the eliminations. Went semis once. J.R. Todd, 5th, 53 out. Bob Tasca, 6th, 79 out. Sean Langdon, 7th, 80 out. Tommy Johnson, 97 out, in 8th. Matt Hagan, 103 out. Tim Wilkerson, 126 out. You know, there was that do or done line. Remember that? Mike Dunn?
Yeah.
The do or done line. And Mike Dunn, like, to me, Mike Dunn, people still ask for Mike Dunn all the time. And that's a hallmark for it. Now, moving on, I think that happens too. Whether it be right or wrong, it's definitely not my call. Moving on in our reality. But if Mike Dunn was still doing the do or done line, I think Wilkerson is under the do or done line.
I hear you. Do or done. I remember that.
Yeah. Whether it was totally appropriate in the way you work it, you either do now or you're out. I think Wilkerson's out right now. Like, I just don't see them rallying in the last 4 races to win 3 out of 4 or something, which is what it would take for them to make it back. No offense. Love Richard Hartman. Love Wilk. Guy's great. But everybody else is right in the middle of it. But if John Force or Robert Height goes out there and wins this race, that can just change things. They could gap the field. Like, they're in the lead. If they go out and win the race, that's a big leg up. all of a sudden.
Could be bye-bye.
Yeah, that's why this is such a fun race. It's so pivotal. Pro Stock. Jason Line, Erica Enders, near tie, 11 points. Jason leads Erica. Bo, 22 back, and those are the 3-car, like, little mini breakaway. Then you got Matt Hartford, 57 out. I find it interesting. You got Jason Line, KB Racing, Erica Enders, Elite Motorsports. Then you got Bo, KB Racing Satellite, rental customer. And you got Matt Hartford, Elite Motorsports, rental customer. All within 57 points. 83 back, Alex Laughlin. 94 back, Jed Coughlin. Derek Kramer, Greg Anderson, 107 back. Derek Kramer, 122 back. Chris McGahey, 141 back. Val Smealin, 192 back. The do-or-done line is under Greg Anderson. Greg Anderson can go win 4 races in a row. He's capable of that. He's done it before. I think he deserves that professional respect. But that's it.
Yeah, man. This guy's a multiple-time champ and stuff.
The sport's winningest active driver. He just had he almost swept the Western Swing in the class. Yeah.
Driver. Didn't mean to.
No, I mean in the class.
I know you did.
I'm capsulizing the classes, but I get what you're saying. And then Pro Stock Motorcycle. Andrew Hines leads by 34 points over Karen Stouffer. Eddie Krawick is third, 51 back. Matt Smith, 61 back and fourth. Jerry Savoy, fifth, 66 back. Hector Arana, 97 back. Angel, 130. Angie, 150. Ryan Ayler, 191. Hector, 202. The line, I think, is Jerry. Just behind Jerry. There's 5 bikes that are running well. You got 2 Harleys, 2 Suzukis, and Matt Smith. There's your champions coming out of those guys. So I'm excited. Like this, it means something. Every run down the track means something. You got to come out on Q1 and perform well so that you have good, solid data for Q2. And if you don't, then you're behind. You're still figuring out Q2 on Q1 on Q2, and so on. Can't get taken out early. Can't lose on a hole shot. Must win. Everybody must win. It's really interesting. So I'm excited about that. All right, now it is time for Sports Collision. Did we cover all the motorsports?
It's everything on my list.
Good. The Miami Dolphins are the worst team in the
That
NFL.
is not true.
But see, here's the thing. Today, I was listening to some sports talk radio, and look, we play the Washington Redskins this week, right?
So
okay.
The loser
and
of
the
that
Washington
game will be
Redskins,
the worst team.
The Washington
Are
Redskins
technically a worse team right now.
just fired their coach.
And they're actually also 0-5, while the Dolphins just are coming off a bye week, so they're only 0-4.
Right. Excellent. All these are excellent points. So the Redskins are coming to town, and normally you would be talking about who is going to win the game and who is going to play better. Well, I had this conversation with Paulie the White Guy about how I was worried that the Redskins are going to come in here
and lose. No, they are.
And that they're going to beat us at being the worst.
They are. They actually are. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Right. No, we're going to beat them. They're on the road.
Course.
They got a new coach. We're going to beat them. And they're going to take the lead for the number 1 draft pick, which is a problem. So I flipped on the radio. They're having the same conversation. They're going to beat us at sucking. That's what the problem is. They're going to take the worst record from us. We're in a total bizarro universe here. That we're having in-depth discussion about how someone is
trying
better
to be winless.
About someone is better at being bad than we are, and that we're going to lose the contest of being worse.
But there's a race to the bottom, so to speak.
It's a race to the bottom.
And the Jets are involved in it too, but I expect them to win a few games when they get their quarterback back from kissing.
And then somebody said the Natty
toilets and stuff
is bad.
The Natty is terrible.
Natty is bad. So we're in a fight for this.
There is.
We're in a fight for this.
Quickly.
Like you have to, if you're a Dolphin fan, you have to fight to suck.
Or to suck the most.
Right. And so here come the Redskins.
Yeah, the Jets and the Dolphins are both 0-4. I guess they were both on a bye. I don't recall that.
And they're going to play each other twice, and so they'll
Cincinnati's
probably
0-5.
split.
The Redskins are 0-5, and that's it for the winless teams. So that's one out in the NFC and 1, 2, 3 in the AFC. So there's still 4 winless teams.
And so we'll see. We'll see if the Redskins come in here and they, we beat them, which we probably will. 2 on, 2 out, bottom 3. Minnesota's got a couple runners on. 2 balls, no strikes.
Oh, he's going to walk this guy. But
yeah, we're going to walk the bases loaded again.
Anyway,
Sevy
yes,
is really struggling.
Unfortunately,
Labor.
yes. And as we went to another football game this weekend at the University of Miami.
What was that? Canes versus Virginia Tech.
And they were getting okay, I'll give them this. They didn't quit, and they haven't quit.
But before you get into that specific description, the air getting taken out of the balloon by 3 turnovers in the first quarter really was a buzzkill on the game. That was very frightening. It was a pickoff attempt at second, and it almost went into the outfield.
Very close.
Yeah.
Yep.
But we were, fired up. The game, and here we go. It's going to be great. Oh.
Ow.
Right before the halftime, people were talking about leaving. We were down big. But somehow, college football, they came back. They tied the game. And what happened after that?
The kicker missed the extra point.
Right.
Just take the air out of the balloon.
And then they come right down the field and score a touchdown, and the game is over, and the Canes lose. That kicker, by the way, he missed 2 kicks in the first game of the season.
He's missed some kicks, and he's missed some extra points. He's not. I was screaming for them to run across the field over there and pluck someone off the soccer team.
Yeah,
I mean, I find it difficult. These things happened. But if FSU had a kicker, Bobby Bowden might have had a handful of championships too.
No doubt. Of all the positions, if I was going to have a kid, I would tell him to be a kicker.
No, man, you make him a left-handed reliever.
Oh yeah, right.
Right, that's what you really.
I don't know, man. I think it's easier to be the kicker than a left-handed reliever.
Yeah, I guess
pitcher in the majors. That's amazing. No offense, kickers. I think it's. I went to high school with a kicker who made it to the big show.
That's right, on the way to the pros for many years.
Many years. Probably way up there on the all-time career list.
I don't know about all that.
Can you have access to those numbers?
Yeah, no, the guy who...
Greater or less than Uwe von Schamann?
Oh, no, greater than that guy.
You think?
You mean all-time on the Dolphins list?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yankees get out of the inning, by the way. There it is. More clapping. I'm sorry, people. But that was good. Sevy's working. End of 3. You send it back out there?
Yeah.
One
depends.
more?
I got to see his pitch count. But yes, off the top of my head, I would say yes. But again, in this day and age, in order to know if they're going to send him back out, we need to know pitch count and all these things.
Right.
He's definitely not going to see a third time through the order. I'm pretty confident of that.
Well, I would agree with that.
Oh, guess what?
What?
Would you be surprised to know that the all-time Dolphins scoring leader is
Lindo Mari?
1,048 points. Lindo Mari.
Yeah. What?
All-time scoring leader for the Dolphins. I thought you meant like in NFL.
No, man.
Well, that's why I was like, no, man,
Dolphins.
it's Vinatieri. That guy's been around for 1,000 years.
And still around. But yes, I went to high school with Lindo Mari.
we know this. But no,
I don't think the audience knows this great stat.
Oh, everybody knows that.
No, I don't know, man. I don't think they do. And we sat next to each other in chemistry.
Shaman is actually only 4th.
And he didn't even get the gig right out of high school. He kept training and sent videos out. And he got on the practice squad. I remember when he went to college, and then he got on the Dolphins, and he got to kick in front of his hometown crowd. What's better than that?
Look, the Dolphins had a nice run there from 89 to 95. They had Stojanovic. Remember, he was pretty much
Pete Stojanovic,
money.
pretty much.
And then after that, in 97 to 06 came Lindo.
97-06.
Yeah, that's 10
so
years.
Lindo
10
played
seasons.
with Marino, man.
For only a couple of years.
Yeah, but still, he was on the field with Marino. You got to see Marino lead the amazing. Amazing. So I don't really want to talk any New York Yankees because we're in the middle of a game here. So anything could happen. And anything is possible to jinx, the team. So I don't want to talk about the Astros, but let's talk about the other games that happened.
Well, yeah, today was a big quadruple header that started early afternoon where the Astros and Tampa Bay played their Game 3, and Tampa Bay was able to overcome a first-inning home run by the smallest man on the field, Jose Altuve, and they won pretty big. I'm not sure what the final score was. I'm looking it up here now, 10-3.
Wow.
So Tampa Bay was able to...
Who'd they get to?
To Greinke.
The new guy.
Greinke, and then they took him out, and they finished whooping on Miley, whomever that was. But, yeah, they definitely didn't bring Greinke in to be giving up home runs and getting whooped. And then the next game was Atlanta and St. Louis, and their series is Game 4, and the Braves were up 2-1, and the Cardinals were able to win that one in extra innings. I think it was Yachty came through with the game-winning hit. And so now that series is tied up at 2.
Here's Stanton.
And the Dodgers were up 2-1 in their series with Washington. And now the Nationals win today behind Scherzer, and they're tied at 2. And so both National League series going 5 games. And it looks like Houston and Tampa Bay will at least go one more game tomorrow.
So that's good. That's why we got to win this game tonight. And get ahead of the entire playoffs.
Absolutely.
And Stanton is on a
playoffs?
Seeing eye bloop that found its way to the grass.
Oh, look, and just as we say that, they're updating the earlier game.
Yes. Oh, no, we're doing a great job. You know what I love seeing? You see that Doosan there?
Right.
Doosan. They actually quasi are partnered with a car in the NHRA. Jackie Fricks.
I believe I was going to say I've seen that.
Jackie Fricks, John Fink equipment car. And, he's got a big equipment company, I would imagine. And so Doosan does equipment, and so they're on the car. Good for everybody. But
I think it's huge.
I love the fact that they're a major sponsor in MLB. I love this crossover between the auto racing. I like to see the same names. It means they appreciate the crowd that is drag racing or audience. But when is the ALCS happening? Do you know? Is that schedule out?
You want the schedules of the...
Yeah.
Sure, we can work.
Yeah, I would like to see that. I would like to know that. And the reason...
Okay.
The reason...
Is to know
what if Tampa were to somehow beat the Astros, and if the Yankees are so fortunate enough to advance beyond the Minnesota Twins, then we are just a 3-hour and 45-minute car ride from the ALCS.
Okay, the ALCS.
But I really have a feeling I'm going to be working. We'll be in Dallas. Don't tell me it's the 19th, 18th, 20th.
It is, October 11 through... Well, October 13 would be game... No, yeah, October 12 would be game 1, and game 2 would be October 13. And then the 3 would be Tuesday, Wednesday, and then if necessary it would be Thursday. And then Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
So if it was in Tampa, it would be those
15th.
Yeah, those middle games.
Okay.
The Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday game.
Okay. Well, I can tell you this. There's only one day that works, and it's the 15th.
Yeah, but, that's all.
Well, but no, but this is
Tampa
the kind of
has
thing
to win 2 games, the next 2 games.
This has got to be something that is, being thought about, though. Because if they do... then you got to strike and get tickets. And just what would that be like? Toughing it out. Drive over there in one day? Tuesday,
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. That's
a huge effort. But it is the ALCS. Well, if Houston wins, it's not possible. It's only possible if Tampa wins.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. Something to think about, man. Bonsai run. New York Yankees, ALCS. Sports Radio Vlad is thinking about it. But the likelihood of Tampa advancing is the problem. That's the fly in the ointment. The Astros are too good. If the Astros get bounced by Tampa, that is an epic fail on their part.
Definitely.
A lot of people are going to be very unhappy.
Well, yeah, especially after taking a two games to nothing lead.
Making all those moves, exactly. No, ain't happening. So what else? Any final thoughts as we get ready to roll on here on WFO Ignition?
No, there's no football to talk about in this town because all the teams are playing terrible. And I guess basketball's starting soon. They're already like practicing or whatever, or training camp or whatever it is they're calling it these days. I don't know. Whatever the foreplay of the season is.
No, I heard it was an unusual name.
But anyway.
It's still too far out. SportsCollision. Well, this is that time, and, we don't talk hockey. I think hockey is sport number 3.
It actually just started. I know they just started playing for real games in the hockey.
In the NHRA universe, the number 3 sport is hockey. As unusual as that is, there's a lot of very passionate hockey fandoms that love the NHRA. Interesting. No, I think we're good, man. I think we're at 110. Everybody's excited. They all know that we're preoccupied. And so let's wrap it up. Thanks to everybody out there. NHRA Nitro is coming soon. It is going to be fantastic. You're going to have Alan Reinhart. You're going to have Clay Milliken. You're going to have Justin Ashley. You're going to hear Eddie Granaccia talk pro stock from the crew chief perspective. It's going to be fantastic. That's all coming out later this week. If you're going to be out in Charlotte, I will be there too. It's going to be very exciting. I encourage you to come to the race, regardless of where you are. Come to the race. Don't be like Gio. It's 3 hours. Oh, my God. I don't know. It's a weekday. I can't wrap my mind around it. No, man. You get sick. You call into work. Your boss will go.
I don't have any. That's why I can't call in sick to work.
You tell him to go.
Yeah, I don't have any days left, man. All my days have already been accounted for.
That's not true, man.
No, that is true. I would have to pay for my days.
He's going to go for it. This is Yankees ALCS, driving distance away. Tampa, there it is, base hit. Tampa is not going to pull it out. But if they do, wow. There's a lot of things going along with that. Anyway, thanks to everybody who helps us behind the scenes. Thanks to you guys as listeners for dealing with the Yankee fandom. Sorry, but we got a lot going on here. And I felt like we did a pretty good job of navigating. NASCAR, playoffs, Dega, NHRA, Formula One. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. We're going to be all over all of these stories. And next week, we'll recap it all. If you enjoyed this somewhat, click subscribe. It always gets better. Thanks, everybody.
WFO! The views and opinions of the hosts, guests, or callers do not necessarily reflect that of the station ownership, advertisers, or agencies.
Yeah, welcome to the party.
Well, I think it's huge.
Playoffs? Playoffs?